I'm now calling this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. Present tense. My name is Tristan Miller, the Saucy Sleuth.
I'm Melissa Meli, the Spy.
I'm Tyler Riley, Cop and a Half.
Today's show, brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a 30-day trial membership with a free audiobook. Go to audibletrial.com/adcpod and browse the unmatched selections of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Just go to audibletrial.com/adcpod.
No, don't go to Pood. Go to ADC Pod. That'll get you there. I don't know what ADC Pood's gonna do, but it's not us.
Probably make me horny. That's what I got. We're in this space today. I'm not gonna say
what my thoughts were.
So it's day of the quarantine, and I think we've all gotten to a certain point with ourselves.
I'm mad today. It's gonna be fun.
Yep, and Tyler's fine. He seems chill.
I'm pretty lethargic today.
Well, thriving. It's difficult and annoying when people are thriving in this time. So, so this week we watched season 3, episode 7.
Yes.
Of Hercule Poirot's
Agatha Christie.
Hercule Poirot's Agatha Christie, The Double Clue. It's called The Double Clue. It's based off of a short story from Poirot's early cases, which is, once again, nice, because you know me about those adaptations. You'll love to see it, folks.
Yeah. It starts out with Poirot and Hastings in a car, right? Oh, no. First we see...
Starts up with a train.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. This one is like a Russian novel with the cinematography, guys.
It really is.
And the music, my goodness. It's like watching Anna Karenina or something.
But we start off with this beautiful train. A beautiful woman comes off the train. She goes to an apartment. She is all alone, surrounded by luggage. She's clearly well off. She tips everybody. Everyone's happy to see her. Then we go to Hastings and Poirot in the car, right? Because they're going to Jap's office.
Yeah.
Or some such thing. And
they drive past the wedding.
Yeah, and Hastings is like, would you ever get married? And he's like, I've had 7 cases where a man has murdered his wife, and I've had 22 cases where a wife has murdered her husband, so I think I'm good.
Which can I
Because women be killing. Women be killing.
Hashtag women be killing.
Yep. Oh, boy.
Yeah. The first person you gotta look at is the spouse, and it is, yeah. And I would say that Poirot's experience has been unusual. While it certainly does happen that wives kill husbands, I feel like husbands kill wives a little bit more often.
Yeah,
at least in our current day and age. I haven't seen a whole musical written about men killing their husbands and lovers, unlike Chicago, which is all about.
Yes,
well, we'll get that soon. Musical. It's going to be called Detroit.
The musical Chicago, based on
statistics.
Yeah.
So they drive past this wedding. They meet with Jap, and Jap is like, "You gotta help me, Poirot. My whole job's on the line, isn't it? I just, it's got the commissioner's down my neck, and there's been 3 robberies, and here's the case file." And Poirot's like, "I can't do anything, but we have to wait till they do it again." And then they would cut to a garden party.
Well, because it was 3 days since the last robbery happened, right?
Right, and that's right. And Poirot says, yes, we have to strike while the metal is warm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been 3 robberies within, I believe, 3 days, and then it's been 3 days since, is how it's worked.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which is like, that KD ratio, way to go. Like, those stats. A+.
So then we go to a party?
I believe so.
Yes, and this is where we get the lovely woman's name that we saw on the train, Countess Vera Rosakov.
Mm-hmm.
Vera.
She's there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And she's traveling with Jules, right? But like Jules, like with a name.
Oh, right. Yeah, you know those name jewels. They're the best ones.
Like the Hope Diamond and like I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah, like the heart of the ocean.
You let me curse once, and now I can't stop.
Yeah, go for it. I don't give a anymore.
Oh no! Oh my!
Oh my!
What will our listeners think? This isn't even the Patreon.
Oh boy!
I know we usually save our cursing for the Patreon.
Oh,
mm-hmm. That's
okay. A little taste of what's to come if you subscribe to our Patreon. But so it's like the Hope Diamond like type of thing, like where it's like named after something. It's not just like, oh, that's a really nice necklace. It's like the Clendon jewels or something like that.
Yeah, these are particularly sparkly, so they get names.
Carol.
Yep.
George.
Like Carol.
Carol.
Aloysius.
Gargamel.
Gargamel, exactly. So,
I can't be seen without my Gargamel topaz ring.
It is blue.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be yellow.
Ooh.
That's the trick. The Gargamel is actually the yellow one. Yep. So we meet the host of this party. He's an older man.
That's very polite.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I try to be respectful. And everyone's in tuxes and just there's just money just falling all over the place.
Falling from the sky.
And we meet this little ratty man,
Bernard Parker.
Bernard Parker, yes. And he is being a little lech, and he's just, gosh, how, I don't know, he's like a comic book character. He's not a real person.
Yeah.
He's asking after all the women, but like clearly in a kind of like, you know, gold digging kind of way. Like, that woman, she lost her husband. You think she misses him? Ooh, I'm gonna get in on that. It's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm only horny for diamonds.
Exactly.
Oh my. Do I have a perfume for you, sir?
You from Dior, horny for diamonds. Featured in the latest James Bond feature film.
Yep.
No time to not be horny.
I was thinking diamonds are forever horny.
Oh, sure.
There it is.
Like, no time to not be horny, though. That's the name of my memoir.
So, we were talking about how the jewelry was apparently stolen during a performance by this opera singer who I thought was not very good, but I don't know opera super well, so was she in fact good?
She was pretty good. A contralto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she was fine. She wasn't like, you know, amazing, but she was fine. What didn't you like about her?
I just didn't like her. Like,
well,
got bad vibes.
I mean, I think that's
well,
fair.
not her, but like, I just I don't know. Her voice just wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't getting me there.
Okay. I mean,
I hated
but
her
I just
face.
didn't know if it was
I hated her outfit. No, I hated her tone. I hated.
Well, I mean, the outfit was not my favorite, but I just didn't know if it was like a me thing or like what the deal was. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely just you.
Yeah, I thought she was perfectly adequate. It was all like white noise to me.
That's racist.
Yeah. We're all for racism here on the program. You know this more than anyone, Tyler.
I do.
So during this opera performance, the jewels are stolen. We see a white glove, and then we're back with Jap, and he's like, "Oh, there's been another one." And then Poirot is like, "Ah ha ha! We'll investigate now. Now that there has been a crime."
Yes. Thank goodness. We're waiting for it.
And then they go to the scene of the crime, and they interview the man whose jewels have been stolen, which apparently the jewels were a Medici family jewels. So they're a big fuss.
Okay. Yeah.
Huge deal. Those emeralds.
Oh, those Medicis. They really loved their everything.
Their whole steez, their whole swag.
Was it Sonic the Hedgehog that collected gems?
The rings, golden rings.
Well, rings, yeah. Like, but then, like at the end of the level, or like in a special zone, like there were like these objects you had Chaos Emeralds. They were Chaos Emeralds that you had to collect in Sonic the Hedgehog. I just remember that.
I did have a Sonic game once, but I don't remember emeralds because I clearly didn't play it that often.
I have played one Sonic game, and it's one of the more recent ones, and I must report back that it is doo-doo. Oh.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think the older ones probably are more entertaining because you get the novelty of it. Anyhow, they find a glove, and they find a cigarette case that is empty. The cigarette case has the initials BP.
And our Weasley friend was missing. Like, it was just the most, bang over the head moment, because he comes back, you see this pair of white gloves reach into the safe, and then you see the Weasel guy come back to the table and is like, "Oh, do you think I'm missing my gloves? Have you seen them?"
And the old man is like, "No, I haven't seen them at all."
And his initials are also BP. So when we
British Petroleum.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So when we get those two pieces of clue, those pieces of evidence, if you will,
the double clue.
Double clue. It very much points to this jerk man. I didn't like him. In case
that's very apparent. I think
I didn't know if I was being clear.
I think it's a hate crime. I think you're being homophobic.
What?
Homophobic?
He's clearly very flamboyant. Are you kidding me?
No way. He's a heavyweight champ of England.
Well, that's true, but that's also pretty gay, Tyler.
Regardless. I do not care what his sexuality is. He is a gold digging little weasel, and I don't like him. Yep, and that's all there is to it. And that's why. But yeah, so they wore his gloves. He's like, "Yep, those are mine." Oh, okie doke. Cool.
Yep.
And so, that's much too easy. But
yeah.
Jap has his own suspect, right?
Because there was a tramp that was seen.
Oh, yes.
And he's like, "I bet it was the tramp." And Poirot was like, "It's never the tramp."
Well, it was a lady who saw the tramp.
It's never the tramp. But yeah, then there's 3 other people that were seen going into the home. I believe there was Weaselman, there was Old Lady, there was Russian Countess, and then anyone else?
I don't know. I think that's it.
No, I don't think. I mean, there were other people there, of course, because it seemed like a pretty big party. But like, those are like the suspects. Those are the characters that matter.
Right, because everyone else
during the time.
Yeah, because everyone else was sitting in their seats. They were sitting in the seats watching the opera lady.
Yep.
And the older woman that went in was named Ringhorn, I believe, because I kept thinking about Adventure Time and Lady Rainicorn.
Yeah.
I was getting very distracted by thinking of our unicorn rainbow friend. But, yeah.
But essentially what happens is Poirot meets with everybody, and then he eventually meets with the Russian Countess, and he's so enamored by her that he no longer gives a fuck about the investigation. He's like, I don't care for these hoes. I just want to go on dates. I don't... He literally at one point goes, it does not interest Poirot. And I'm like, oh, okay. He just up. He does not care.
When I saw the episode description and it said that Poirot was romancing a lady, I was like, I bet everyone thinks he's romancing a lady, but he's not really. But no, I mean, actually, seems pretty taken with her. We have not seen the side of Poirot.
No, we haven't, which also debunks my whole Poirot's coded to be gay thing. Yeah. So, by the way, Felicity Lemon, and that's her first name.
I love it.
I did not know.
I didn't either.
In the captions, they call her Felicity rather than Miss Lemon. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Felicity Lemon and Captain Hastings take it upon themselves.
And of course, Hastings' first name is Captain.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously. Legally speaking.
Right.
They go on their own investigation. They take it upon themselves because they feel bad for Jap because he's going to lose his job.
And Poirot's like, I do not care.
Yep. And they've given Jap 48 hours to solve this. It's very... It's very modern cool. Procedural. Yeah, it's not cool at all, but it raises the stakes. So they do their investigation. They go to the older woman. She has an embroidery with the initials BP on it. So they go to British Petroleum, and he goes, I never cross-stitched, but he is someone who deals with well-off people when they're not doing so well off, and he negotiates selling items of value anonymously, so they don't lose face socially, rather.
Societalistically is perfect.
That's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
He's just he's a weasel, which is fine. We do need weasels in the world.
Yep.
He's a whistle.
Yes.
A whistle.
A woozle. Oh, bother.
It was it's a Frozen joke.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Whistleton. I'm aware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it did not interest me.
Oh.
That's fair. I don't think I ever made it through the movie entirely.
I did once because I was in the theater.
Ah, okay.
And I could not leave.
That's fair.
Because I was tied.
Oh, goodness. That's quite the circumstance there.
Yeah. So, they get all this information, they bring it to Poirot, and he's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You can't disappoint Papa.
No.
Nope.
He's like... He's done no work on this case, and he hears the things that they've been saying, he's like, oh, no. And he says, what was Lady Ringhorn's name before she was Lady Ringhorn? And they're like, oh, well, I don't know, I suppose. And I don't know who that was. But
Miss Lemon just looks it up in this huge book.
I know. What is this book?
Absolutely massive.
Yeah, but this book's like, yep. Her initials were indeed her Beatrice, whatever the last name
Beatrice was. Potter.
Potter. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Beatrice.
Famed author.
Beatrice P. But yes, her initials were BP before the marriage of herself.
So was it like an encyclopedia?
Well, we've had this book before. It basically, anyone who's like a duke, duchess, earl, whatever, they have a record of family lineage and stuff like that.
The Big Book of Nobles.
Yeah. During this time, he's also gone on several dates. Poirot, meaning Haga, has gone on several dates with this Russian countess. And at one point, he's like, these English people, they will not solve it because they think too Englishly and not European. Whereas the European would ask, who is the one person that was at all 4 robberies? And there's this very tense moment. And so it slowly becomes obvious what's going on with him. But back to the scene with Miss Lemon and Hastings and Poirot. Poirot goes, well, you should check out the grounds of Mr. Hansen, whatever his name is.
It begins with an H.
The guy whose jewels were stolen.
Yeah, the party host.
Yeah, have him go there tomorrow. And then we get the scene where Poirot goes to 2 private investigators and requests their assistance. And they're very taken with him. And they're like, he's like, but you need to help because I can't. And they're like, okay. And then that's left open-ended. And so
Lemon and Hastings go to the grounds, right?
Yep.
And they see a tramp coming back, running around. Oh no!
And then he pulls out a gun and shoots at Hastings.
Oh yeah!
4 times.
Oh my gosh, it was the most absurd scene I've ever... Because Hastings is, of course, being Hastings and running right towards this guy. And Miss Lemon, after the guy has had his gun pointed at Hastings for a solid few seconds, enough for anybody to be like, gun, she says, Hastings, he has a gun! And it's like this very weird slow motion.
Which adds to my theory that Miss Lemon really wants Hastings' position and just needs him out of the way.
Oh, that's funny. Also, she does not move out of the way, though. And presumably she was standing next to him, so she's in the line of fire.
Because she hired the tramp. Have you not been listening?
It's absolutely wild.
So Hastings gets a little injured, and they go to Poirot, and Poirot's like, I'm so sorry, I caused this, oh no. But then there's a beautiful picnic scene with Poirot and the Countess.
Yeah.
It really is, like, super nice. Like, it's
such
a beautiful setup.
Yeah, they have the best picnic basket.
Can I tell you? I loved that she was laying on the blanket and Poirot was sitting on a stool. Because he's like, I'm not going to sit on the ground.
Yeah, it's great.
Like an animal.
It's idyllic, really, is what it is. And he's wearing really dope fits in this one. And she looks great the whole time too. Yeah, it's like a painting.
Yeah, that one specific painting, and that's kind of fun because they go to a museum earlier and they talk about impressionistic painting, and it's kind of like a callback.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The design, the visual design of this episode is they're really getting into a good groove. But
yeah,
he's told Inspector Japp to meet him at the grounds along with Hastings and Miss Lemon tomorrow at 3, well, today at 3 during the picnic, and he's like, I don't know what to tell them, and then she goes, would this help? And she hands Poirot a bag.
Oh my goodness, it's the most it's so slow. I have never seen anyone hand someone anything so gingerly before. It's like, we just want to make sure you see this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. And
I think now is a good time for an ad break.
Hey, detectives. You got a hankering for Poirot coming on? Then you best subscribe to our Patreon for only $3 or less a month.
$3 a month will get you advance episodes. Yeah.
You get early access to episodes and bonus content at the $3 level. At the $1 level, you just have things unlocked, and it's real great. Subscribe. Patreon.com/ADCpod.
We recorded a special wrestling episode recently that's only going to be on Patreon, guys. So if you want to hear us all talk about the WWE, or WWF as it was called at the time, you got to subscribe.
We're also on the Scavengers Network. Go to scavengersnetwork.com. You can take a look at some of the podcasts. You got Myth Takes, and you got, radio. They've also been doing live streams almost every day. I did a couple of those where I played a Star Wars video game very badly. Let's check that out. Go to the Audible. audibletrial.com/ADCpood. And
pod, ADC pod.
It's all about pronunciation. It's a regional dialect.
Oh, right. Okay. We're back at the episode. So, at some point, I think before the big reveal, definitely before the big reveal, Miss Lemon and Hastings are sitting in the office contemplating what will happen if Poirot gets married and leaves them.
I know, it's so sad.
Yeah. And they're just staring, and this is of course before Hastings meets Cinderella, which we covered in one of our much earlier episodes, because that's how we read things when we were reading regularly. But
learn what a thing this is.
Who has time for literacy?
audibletrial.adcpod or .com/adcpod. Yeah. No, but so Hastings talks about his dream to be a farmer in South America, and then he says to Miss Lemon, "What will you do?" And she goes, "I don't even want to think about it."
Yeah, she just starts crying. It's very sad.
It's so sad. Poor Miss Lemon. Yeah. But it's also very funny. Their misery is hysterical.
Alright, so Jap goes he goes to the window, to the wall, and he goes and he reaches in to the bush that they led up to the window, and he finds the emeralds in there.
Yeah, the necklace.
And it seems that the thief has dropped them in his panic because the Countess saw the thief make off with the diamonds.
Right. So, leaving behind, totally tying up Poirot's accounting of the tale and resolving that in a nice little tidy bow.
Yeah, saving Jap's job as well, which is quite good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So then
we go to the train station, right?
Not quite, because he has a little bit of a farewell. Poirot has a bit of a farewell dinner with the.
Oh right, yeah.
She's a countess, right?
Countess, yes, Countess Vera Rosakov, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it sounds like a character from Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. Also known as War and Peace in some circles. But the Countess and Poirot are having a very somber little dinner at a very elegant restaurant, and Poirot gets out the door with her, and there's two private investigators, and he said, "I hope you do not mind that I have had these two gentlemen come along for your safety?" And she's like, no, I get it. Yep, that sounds about right. Is one of them armed? Any of them armed? And he's like, oh, yes, I think you will find that one of them is armed. Oh, okay, all right. And it's really charming how they're, in understanding of what's going on, but, they don't say it. They haven't articulated what Poirot knows to be true.
Sure. Yeah. And one of the man that's armed is armed with blanks, and he played the tramp, and so that's that part solved.
Right. Yes.
But then she gets on the train and leans out the window to say goodbye.
And Poirot said, "Oh yes, it is very sweet. Very, Muppets Take Manhattan, and right." You remember the train scene, Muppets Take Manhattan. Mm-hmm.
Spoilers.
Well, it's like the middle of the
movie. There's a train in the movie.
And
I don't know how important it is.
Have you never seen Muppets Take Manhattan, Tyler?
I've never seen Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh my goodness.
People's is people's is people's.
Tyler, do you like the Muppets?
I do.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Because I think they're delightful. And I like it when people like things that I like.
If people don't like the Muppets, I would like for them to be gonzo.
Oh.
Perfect.
You really committed to that joke.
I
committed. We're just full of puns today.
On the details.
Oh.
Miss Piggy. So there's a sweet exchange through the window of the train, and he basically says, you should continue your work and I have to continue mine, but we can't do it in the same country. And he hands her the cigarette case as a souvenir because she's like, well, this is useless, because that's my name's Vera, and he's like, yes, but in the Russian alphabet, their P and B are V and R or whatever whatever it is.
Right. So basically,
you're talking to a dyslexic person who doesn't care.
I mean, it is pretty important to the plot of the story.
Yes, but let me explain something really quickly. Mm-hmm. We've had so many technical difficulties during this episode. So Melissa's computer crashed, I think twice, right? Twice, and then my audio stopped recording, and so at this point I'm just happy that I remember what we're talking about.
yes this is we'll give you a little peek behind the curtain right now. This is 2 days after the first time we recorded this episode, so
could you tell? Do things seem different?
Do you hear the loud music playing outside my window? I don't know. Maybe you do.
I can't, if that helps at all.
Yeah.
I can't either.
I think Audacity might be able to, though. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
We'll see what happens. But yes. So BP are her initials in the Russian alphabet. So it is her cigarette case, and she accepts it warmly as this souvenir. Essentially of that time that guy I liked didn't tell the police on me for stealing a bunch of valuable jewels.
Yeah. Decided for me not to die.
Yeah. And she kisses him on the forehead, and they ride away. She rides away into the smoke.
Unknown.
Yeah. Into the smog, as in any good Russian novel.
And Poirot will never know happiness. He will be forever alone, surrounded by an imbecile and a person that loves their job too much.
Yep, basically. All right. How did we like this episode, guys? Do we remember? Do you remember?
I remember mine because we had to redo the ratings as well. I remember mine, but I don't know if you remember what I gave it. It was shocking to the two of you.
Yeah, it was. I do remember what you said.
I don't remember. So
okay, so fun. Melissa, you do Tyler's. Tyler, you do mine, and I'll do Melissa.
Okay.
All right. So I gave it a 5 out of 5. This is my favorite we've seen so far. It's based off of a short story, so the plot makes sense. We get to see a different side of every character we've been introduced to. Like seeing that Jap isn't the head honcho, and seeing Miss Lemon and Hastings do a bit of investigating, and seeing a side of Poirot that I don't think ever see again. And that's why I liked it, because of that little subversion.
Yeah. I remember now. I think I gave it about a 3.5, and I think I'm sticking to it. I liked all those things about it. I just don't tend to care about Jules, so it doesn't get that bump up to 4 for me, because this wasn't going to be my favorite. I think everyone, loved Hastings, loved Miss Lemon, loved Poirot. Yeah, I had a good time, above average, but
And to symbolize the thing that I said, and I don't think we mentioned this in the review, the Countess is the only one that calls him Hercule rather than Poirot.
Oh, yeah.
And like that as well, I really enjoyed. Tyler.
I don't remember what I gave it before, but I will give it a 2. I don't know if that was what I gave it.
That is what you gave it?
It was. Okay, great. Because that is where I firmly stand.
Because you had an issue with the acting, right?
I had an issue with the acting, and I was also just like, it's 2 days later, and like I had to listen to a bit of our episode, because I was like, I don't remember what this episode was. And for me, that's a hallmark of like something that for me is not worthy of a 5. So it's a 2. Because I did enjoy the performances of Miss Lemon, Hastings, and Poirot, of course. But everybody else I could have done without.
All right. I accept your terms and your taste. I will forever treasure this episode in my heart, just as Mary did the Gifts of the Wise Men.
I thought you said Mary. Those were... You think baby Jesus remembers those?
No, the adoration. That's anyway. I now call this meeting.
Wait, I have to say yes. Wait, because I thought you said Mary, as in Mary Brandybuck.
Yeah, Marietta Brandybuck. Okay, yeah, when the three wizards came to Marietta and gave him gifts. One a rabbit, one a big old ball, and one disdain.
Anyway,
I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to a close.
Finally.
Yeah, this is the sound of a train. Chicka chicka
Oh no.
whatever. But yeah, if that's all, I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to a close. Peace!